flutter skip in Yoshi Star 2, which is spiny control. So normally in this star, I'm just going to get to Yoshi first and then I'm going to try to kind of explain everything here. So yeah, that's the movement you would do. So normally in this star, you're supposed to break a bunch of those glass. You're supposed to go through a bunch of different planets, you know. And you can kind of see them off in the distance here. There's some, 2 of them are over here. And then you're supposed to eventually get to the boss planet. You can actually skip all of these planets by doing a somewhat complicated infinite flutter. If you don't know what infinite fluttering is, basically you start a flutter, and then during the flutter you crouch, and this cancels the flutter, and then once you let go of the crouch, you can start fluttering again. There are a bunch of good tutorials on how to infinite flutter. So I strongly suggest getting the rhythm down before practicing this, because this is a pretty big flutter skip, and it's definitely worth learning. So your goal is to infinite flutter from where you get Yoshi, all the way to this planet over here, which is the boss planet. There are a few things about this flutter that are kind of tricky, and I'll get to them as I do the trick, obviously, but how I set it up is I try to get Yoshi kind of somewhere around this angle. So not completely upright, but like slightly to the right. So this angle is kind of perfect. And now in terms of what angles you should hold, I like to kind of imagine the nunchuck as kind of a clock. So for example, straight up is 12 o'clock, straight right is 3 o'clock, straight down is 6, and straight left is 9. You want to kind of be spacing it around a 2 o'clock angle. So, like right around here, for instance. And when you do the flutter, you're going to start with a jump and a shake. And you're going to want to hold a kind of a 5 o'clock angle for the flutter. But this is going to change, because midway through, there's going to be a camera turn. And from there, you're going to want to hold a 1 o'clock angle. But you have to be pretty careful when you switch. So I'll try and demonstrate the flutter here. I don't know if you noticed it, but I kind of... Okay, I'm just going to die. It doesn't matter. I was going to die anyways. So, if you didn't notice, there's kind of a camera change. The only thing you really need to keep in mind of when you're doing this flutter skip is don't ever hold in the direction Yoshi's facing. So I'll try and demonstrate that. So watch what happens when I do that. Notice how Yoshi's momentum kind of dies, and now I'm no longer able to flutter backwards. Make sure you never hold backwards when doing this flutter. Or never hold in the direction Yoshi's facing when you do this flutter. Otherwise you will lose momentum and you won't be able to make it. So what I usually try to do is I go from kind of holding a 5 o'clock angle to holding straight right and then holding the 1 o'clock angle, and I just keep going from there. One other thing to keep track of is that flutter was actually a really bad attempt. Optimally, you'll end up right around in this area, and you'll be able to grab onto one of the grappling hooks to make it onto the boss platform immediately. To set this up the easiest way, you just kind of want to go back a little bit when you start fluttering, so something along the lines of this. And you kind of want to have an angle that's going more down than right. So I'll try and get a good attempt for you here. So I think this might be too far to the right. Actually, no, this is fine. There you go. And there you go, I was able to grab onto the grappling hook. So I'll try and demonstrate that one more time. And this flutter saves around 45 seconds, so if you can get it down, it's definitely worth doing. It saves quite a bit of time, and I believe you can probably fail like twice and still save all the time with it. Okay, that was my bad. I wasn't sure. I needed to go higher. I'm not usually that low. Yeah, try to make sure you maintain a decent height. You don't need perfect height for this skip to work, but you do want a pretty decent amount of height. Okay, so this is probably not the great angle. Actually, this is perfect, I think. From there, you can just kind of grab the grappling hook and land on this platform. So I hope that was useful, and I hope you're able to now get that flutter down and you're able to get it down consistently. If you have any questions, just leave a comment, and I will definitely be able to answer your question. Goodbye.